escape death. I could do this on my own. Probably faster, too.
Welcome to Hollywood.
The end, Drew. You can't escape death. Deadweight gets left behind. Don't fail me, or else.
I would say that might be perfect. Let's see here. Still being...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective.
Knock 'em dead.
It's definitely not perfect, but it is almost perfect. Maybe I should divide it by 2.5. 2.5 might be perfect. Technically, I could be okay with this, how it's set up. I don't know if I'll try to perfect it more. I could definitely think about it. If I can't find a solution, I could be okay with it, because it technically does work. It's a bit more complicated than I thought it would need to be, but it does work.
You can't escape death.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's nice. difficult to really notice it unless you thoroughly notice there's anything wrong with it, unless you really look. I don't think there's anything wrong with this now. I think it's perfect. Divided by 2.5 is, I think that's perfect. I don't know if that's going to be the most accurate though. I don't know. Is it the most accurate? That's what the goal of this whole thing was, to make it the most accurate possible. I actually still am, like when I look up, I'm still moving forward in a way. That's interesting. That's the same for going down. I'm still going up. Not exactly where I'm looking. That's interesting. So I guess because I divided it by 2.5, it's going to be not 0, like it should be. Yeah. Makes sense. But if I don't divide it by 2.5, it gets inaccurate to where it starts doing it by too much. Like this is extremely accurate. Feels good, I will say. And it might be perfect because it doesn't seem to teleport you to the eye position. It does use eye position, but it doesn't actually teleport you to the eye position. Or does it use eye position? Let me check that. Does not use eye position. Definitely interesting. It doesn't use eye position. I'm guessing it's using the center of the player. Not good, but it's very accurate. Like, if it was using the center of the player, I would be going not to where I was looking. So it's obviously using something different. It's not using eye position. I think it's actually simply using facing direction. Interesting. That's very interesting. So it's actually using facing direction. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can create a better one. I have an idea. This works though. I'm gonna be stupid. Does need to be rotation and translation.
Entering Oasis University.
That works. It's gonna be crazy. It might. Teleport me backwards.
escape death. I could do this on you. Can't escape death.
Fight. Prepare for battle.
You
Select
can't
your hero.
escape death.
Wow, that's interesting. It actually somewhat works. Not even like fully work. That's very interesting. All I need to do is find a way to add to the facing direction. Actually almost works. It's crazy.
Can't escape death.
Really interesting.
Can't escape death.
No chance that works.
Welcome to the
I actually could.
You can't escape death.
Okay. Yeah, that takes into account the eye position though. It uses the eye position. Let's do facing direction and then multiply the eye position.
Everything's going. You can't escape death.
Okay. Wish I could get out of my spawn so I could see what it's doing. It keeps making me wait.
2, 1. Round 1. Capture the objective.
Knock 'em dead.
Probably selecting, or it's probably going to one side and like saying it's infinite or something like that. Never really tried that.
You can't escape death.
Okay. Oh. Got something. Might be simply too far. Too much. I could make it like this. I've already done it like this. I know I can make it like this, but there's obviously something wrong with it. So it's simply going in one way again.
Welcome to Hollywood.
You can't escape death.
Way again. It's interesting what it's doing though. It's I think it's doing something wrong between these two here. I think there's something. Yeah, there's something wrong here. There's absolutely something wrong here.
You can't escape death.
I'm going to set it to rotation and see if it changes anything.
Arriving at Concept.
You can't escape death.
I didn't. Yeah, there's something happening here that I don't understand yet. see what that does. Probably nothing.
Welcome to jungle.
We'll see anyways.
You can't escape death. That weight gets
Teleports to 0. Really tempted to do a world vector, but I know that has some limitations because it doesn't use only one thing from or with facing direction. It uses only one thing with facing direction, and it actually does it how I want it to do it. Do that quickly. Let me make a few HUD texts to know exactly what I'm dealing with.
Arriving at consent.
You can't escape death.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Both Z and X. Y is the most accurate to height. Z. Interesting. And an X. What is X doing? That's very interesting. X and Z are almost doing the same thing. It's really difficult to know which one is which. It's interesting how they both change. Like one's going to start going up and one's going to start going down. Very interesting. Y is the most obvious. I had to do something. So, that's the reason for that pause. Let's, keep looking, though. Keep looking at these XYZ things.
Can't escape
I actually really don't understand. Like, I understand why. It's so easy to understand why. Oops, I didn't mean to shoot, but it's so easy to understand why. Makes perfect sense. So when you're level, like, that's perfectly straight, basically. And for X, oh, I understand it now. Yeah, I understand it. Oh, do I? I thought I did, but so weird. It's like there's two different sides to this. There's one for the X. You see, look at that. Look at this. Those numbers. -1 for X, Z is 0. So when It's very interesting. It is very interesting. Yeah, I guess there's two halves to this. So I'm currently on the 0 for Z. On the half that's for Z. And X. I'm on the negative for that? That's interesting. How does that even work, actually? How's it negative? How is it both negative and positive? I don't know. It's actually quite complicated. Is it like diagonals or what? What is it? I don't know. I really don't. Z. Yeah, it's basically exactly like Y though. It's a number between 1 and -1. So yeah. I don't know where the actual lines are for this. Maybe it's like maybe it's like a circular thing or like around the character. So like as I go up to this, it does like yeah, X you see is like that. It's very difficult to know. Or is it simply like a circular like a circle around the player on the normal x-axis? So like I think this is okay, where's the x-axis? Interesting how that stuff changes so quick. From there to there. Like instantly. But maybe Z is that x-axis or that axis that I'm thinking of? I don't know. It's very complicated to know where the lines are. Obviously, I know where the Y line is. Like I'm imagining it. I know where that is. I do not know where the Z and X are. Too many possibilities. Yep, there's too many possibilities. So I can really only use for this. I can only use Y as a facing direction or a component of this. Because if I use Z and this should be Z, I mean X, so I don't know what that is, but if I use that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because I don't know where it's doing it from, because it's not doing it from a vector type of thing. It's doing it from a direction. What does that do? Let's try it.
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
You can't escape death.
Teleports me to here. Okay. See if that should teleport it basically up.
You can't escape death.
Oh. Very interesting. Maybe it doesn't like rotation and translation. Maybe so.
Welcome to Valerie.
You can't escape death.
Oh. Well. Okay. Definitely interesting. It's doing something. Definitely doing something. Yeah, that's the thing about this. So this world vector is already on the player. It's already on the player. Like 0, 0, 0, it should be on the player. That should be about the middle of the player. Or whatever. It's like event player. See if that does anything.
You can't escape death.
Okay, that does do something, but it keeps its it still does the same thing that's been the problem the whole time. It's that Z, it doesn't allow it to get to 0. It keeps it at 5 the whole time. So even though it translates it, what if I do rotation? Let's see.
Entering Lidang Control Center.
You can't escape death.
No, it doesn't work. Very interesting stuff. Yeah, eye position I think is like a world vector, so that's the reason it doesn't actually work in this. It's a local vector. Yeah, this is really complicated. The only way I can really make this work is if I don't use Z. If I use it in a different way, I don't use a world vector and I use a bunch of different types of rules, different types of actions, I mean, or whatever. It would need to be like eye position and facing direction, not a world vector of. Unless, of course, I do what I already did. Which that does work. It actually does use facing direction as the main factor, and that's what's important. I want to do facing direction more. It's very interesting how it works actually, because it uses facing direction, but it also teleports the player correctly. And if my usual teleport, it teleports the player to the straight of the eye position, and simply a straight line to where the teleport distance is. How far it needs to go. Teleports a straight line to that. But the teleport actually teleports your entire player, not simply your eye and the player down from that. It teleports the entire player to that. So like the center of the player, it teleports the center of the player to that. So that means you will increase your eye position every time you teleport. And that means you increase the player position. You go up. Every time you teleport. That's the problem. That is the problem I've been trying to fix. And I've found that doing it with the event player, like the center of the body, it works, but it doesn't fix it. It makes it inaccurate. But somehow, with what I made before, with the facing direction and the world vector, it actually works, where it doesn't teleport from the eye position, but it does the facing direction, and it does it more accurately. So it actually goes correctly, it teleports the player correctly, it doesn't make them go up as you teleport, but it's still accurate. That's what's really interesting about that. I don't know how that even works, really. I really don't. Maybe well, it can't be using that, though. That's the thing, it literally can't be using that. Let me try it. This is my simplest way to teleport. But it's not going to be as accurate, I know that. Let's try it. I've already done this, but it's possible. It's possible it is perfect. Let's see. It is from the event player. It's from the center of the player. It's actually, not bad, I will say. It's not bad. If you think about it, it kinda does what I want it to do, if you think about it. Like, this is what I originally was thinking to. I wanted to combine it and say, like, it does the eye position, but it also does the... Oh, well, does it do both? I'm confused, actually. Does it do both? Because I'm not using eye position, I'm using facing direction. So, I don't think it uses both. I think it's simply from the event player. The center of the player. Really weird. It's really weird to know. But that's the thing, I think it's... So I think this is actually exactly how the world vector is working. So this explains it. So it is actually going from the center of the player. I didn't realize. I thought it was simply more accurate. Or the same amount of accuracy. It's not the same accuracy as going from the eye position. So yeah, it's really tough. It really is. Really tough. I could simply leave it like this, though. I'm considering it. I'm considering leaving it like this. I really am. Leaving it like this and saying it's good enough. But how do I make it more about the eye position? Maybe this already does do about the eye position. I mean, does it? Does it really do about the eye position? And even if I do it more about the eye position, does that make it to where whenever I teleport, it's going to increase the distance? It's going to keep going up and up and up because it teleports it like that. My fix for this, what I did in the past, was that whenever you teleport, it teleports you down so it evens it out. So it makes it accurate, but it doesn't do it too much. It doesn't actually go up at all. It makes it completely accurate, but it doesn't go down any more than it needs to. And I didn't want to do it like that because I thought it was a waste. I thought it doesn't need to be like that. I've already tried this, though. I've already tried this so many times teleport has been an annoyance. It really has, with this teleporting the event player to it instead of teleporting the eye position of the event player to it. Which I don't think is possible, but let me see, maybe it is. No, it can't be the eye position of the event player. It has to be the event player. Yep. It's tough. It's probably not going to work because then it's going to be 0. What if I do a divide of the eye position by 2? That actually work? See?
Now arriving at Lijiang Tower.
You can't escape death.
Guess not. Guess not. I know the event player doesn't actually work. The event player, when size is increased, it doesn't actually make it work. I need to add some things to make it work perfectly. And yeah, you can see how this works. I think this was the old one. Yeah, that was the old one. Adding to the eye position of the event player, world vector, multiplying the y component of the eye position by the player variable size, and then by 1.5, by negative 1.5. Okay, interesting number. So I'm multiplying size by negative 1.5. Yeah, that makes perfect sense actually. That's all I need to do. Multiply the eye position. I need to do 2 multiplies. eye position. That might not work because it's not the Y component, but let's see.
You can't escape death.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not going to work. That is true, though. World vectors are in the center. They're in the center by default. I don't know if they're in the center like they adjust to the size of the player. I don't think so, but they are in the center of the player when the game is started and you're in the normal size. So it's very interesting stuff. So this is what I did. Let's see what I did here. So I'm adding to the eye position of the event player, and I'm adding the world vector to that. I'm multiplying the Y component of the eye position by the player variable size, and then doing negative 1.5. I said 2 points. Negative 1.5 is what I meant to say. And I did rotation, and then I did multiply that by the player variable size and facing direction of and teleport distance. It's definitely interesting. It is interesting, but I feel it could be better. I didn't use Z. I did not use Z here. What I used is the eye position to start, and I'm adding to that this. By size, and then I'm simply saying multiply the player variable size times the facing direction, and then teleport distance. Very interesting. What that actually does, that should actually make it to where it, I don't know if that, does that actually set it to the middle of the character, or does that set it to not enough? Let's see. Let's try it.
You can't escape death.
It goes too much, that's what it does. Interesting. So 1.5 is too much. Let me try 0.5.
You can't escape death.
What happened? What? How is that happening? Probably because it's like a multiply. It's adding. So it went down further as I decreased it. Let's try -2 then.
You can't escape.
What?
Fight.
How does that make any sense? I don't understand this.
Welcome to Blizzard World.
You can't escape death.
Okay, that's... It could... I mean, it works... It worked for me whenever I was making it. Of course, I wouldn't have added it, but... Yeah, it obviously has some problems now. Let me put rotation and translation and see if that fixes anything.
Welcome to reality.
Probably won't, but let's see. I don't know. Maybe it will.
Escape death.
Nope. Yeah, this is tough. Okay, I'm gonna simply set this to back to where it was and leave it. I don't think it's a solution. I really don't. If anything, what I made before is actually the solution. This might actually be the solution if I can think about it correctly. Yeah, basically it is exactly what I created down there, so this should not work, basically. Especially because it's...
Can't escape death.
Yeah. Oh, wait. It does actually do something. Interesting. That's simply because it's 1.5, maybe? Or 1.
You can't escape death.
Yeah, see, now it goes down further. Yeah, I need to fix this. I absolutely need to fix this. -1.
escape death.
Welcome to Blizzard World.
You can't escape death.
Yeah, the eye position's in world coordinates. It has to be. It can't be in local coordinates. I think that's the problem. In this world vector stuff, it doesn't work. When I use world vector of, it tries to convert that. So, I use a local vector of, it might do something. I don't know.
You think, Luch, you can't escape death.
I don't know if that worked or if it didn't work. Might have worked actually. I would need to know exactly how that worked, but it could have worked because it could be setting the number to half of the eye position, which could potentially be a number that sends you straight down.
You
I don't
can't
know.
escape death.
Okay, that 100% does not work. I should try that. Maybe I should try that. Make some HUD text. Know what the eye position and everything is. It should be like I think. Should be exactly like I think. A world vector.
Welcome to the Ilios Lighthouse.
You can't escape death.
It is. Yep. The world vector. It's a problem. It is a problem. Where is it? Technically, if it's increasing or decreasing due to the environment, it's actually perfectly okay. It's always going to stay where it needs to stay at. So I guess that's the reason eye position worked so long. Like I've had teleport in multiple games and I've used eye position. It's tough though. But this is all a world vector. It's not actually doing it locally. This is all world vector stuff. It's definitely interesting. Oops, I hit my microphone there. See if that does anything. It won't be doing it using facing direction, but let's see if it does something.
Can't escape death.
No, it simply teleports me to 0. Like, how do I edit the eye position? Do I need to use a world vector or a local vector? I think I would need to use a local vector because it needs to convert it to it needs to convert it from world coordinates to local coordinates. So let me say add to the local vector of, and then I'm gonna say multiply the facing direction of by the teleport distance. And then I'm going to do if that does anything. Interesting, actually. It's really interesting. So that should teleport you from the center of the player.
Escape death.
Okay, not if it doesn't work. Not if it doesn't work. Maybe it's rotation and translation that's making it not work.
You can't escape death.
Oh, I think rotation and translation should be enabled. Still. So I think I know what's happening here. So yeah, I'm using a world vector and converting it to a local vector. So yeah, that's complicated because if I simply do 0, that's the 0 of the match, the whole map. So I need to actually do some values here. See if that does anything.
You can't escape death.
Okay. Cool. That simply teleports me down. This is interesting.
Welcome to Ishvaran's.
You can't escape death.
Am I going somewhere? I don't know. This is still really difficult though. Still tough. Still really tough.
escape death.
It's very weird. Very weird. It's really difficult to know which one's correct. I'm simply trying to use the logic to determine it. And,
Escape death.
yeah, it's tough. Even though I'm trying to use the logic, it's still really tough. Because there's so many variables to this. Yeah, I'm simply gonna use a world vector. I don't know if local vector can even work. Like, I don't know. It's difficult because I don't even know what is a local vector. Like, is facing direction a local vector? I think so. I think it is. Yeah, it is. It's a local vector. Makes sense for it to be. Event player is a local vector. You use it in that type of way. I really want, like, it to be easy. I really do. But I know it's not easy. Whatever it is.
You can't escape death.
Interesting. Very interesting. But it actually does, in a way, work. Okay. Let's see if I can make this work. Well, this is the same thing, I think, actually. So if I change Y, it's going to not work. Yeah, it's difficult. If I change Y to, like, facing direction, it simply doesn't work. Okay. So, I think I'm going to stop trying to do this world vector stuff. I think it has to stop. See if that works.
I really, you can't escape death.
Okay. What if I do it like that? I don't know. I really do not know.
Can't escape death.
It doesn't do anything. Yep, it's rough. This is really tough stuff. That's interesting. What if I subtract from the eye position of the event player a world vector, and then I say multiply the Y component of the eye position, or maybe I should simply divide it. Could I divide it? Divide the Y component of the eye position by 2, and it's going to subtract that from the eye position. Does that work? I think it does work, but I don't... Okay, I see it works, but it's so low.
Going according according to...
I have to increase it, I guess. Do 3, maybe? I don't know. It's really tough. It's really tough to say. Let's try 3.
Now entering King's Row.
You can't escape death.
Interesting. Let's try 2.5. So I think this actually does work. So I've learned something new. If I haven't completed anything today, at least I've learned something new. Like I've learned something that actually could help me later. And that is, it's important to know that you can do that. You can subtract from an eye position by doing a world vector and simply leaving the other one 0.
Welcome to Oasis.
You can't escape death.
I don't know what this is. How is it going so low now? It's because eye position changes. It changes. It simply does, so that doesn't really work. Subtracting from the eye position isn't really going to make it work. If I multiply the eye position by this, though, I wonder if that would work. Maybe. I'm not gonna do anything actually.
You can't escape death.
Yeah. So it has to be a subtract. Has to be a subtract. Divide. I don't know. I don't know. Citation and translation, maybe that's the problem. Let's try it. Okay, this is going to be the last test. Let's do 2.5 again.
Fight.
You can't escape death.
Okay, so it's not working. Basically, simply doing it from 0. That's all it's doing. It's literally doing it from 0. Okay, I don't know. I'm done. I'll definitely be trying more things later. Definitely, 100%. I'm not done with this. I'm going to perfect it.